deep end. So this is the Experience Show on the B. And this is a podcast video, so we call it like a vodcast. We have business buzz episodes, which are more focused on small business ownership, entrepreneurship, what businesses do in our community. But the Experience Show really is exactly what it sounds like. It's like experiencing business, places, people, organizations. Like, what do they do? How do we walk a day in their shoes? So it's a lot more interactive. So this is kind of how I met Lynn as a client doing one thing in her business side of her world. And then she shared some of this other stuff. And I was like, man, this would be really cool to have on the Experience Show.
Yes.
We like things that impact people's lives. There's always two sides of everything. This is one of those types of topics where you have some believers, non-believers, and fence people that are like, I'll prove it to me and then I'll be a believer. And so at the end of the day, that was with Mike,
Yes. It was definitely him.
Yeah, and so at the end of the day, what we care about the most is that it's helping people. So the people that do believe or they're on the fence and they have finally a breakthrough that is actually helpful in some way throughout their life, whether they're just trying to have closure with something, they're trying to keep an open line going, they want to believe that there's something more than just once it's over, it's like it's over. So as long as there's something positive that comes out of these types of things, this is what we like to do. And we hope that the community who watches this, it feels the same way, And so, Lynn Dion, Mediumship with Lynn.
Yes.
So I guess you can just kind of start off because you have a couple people invited, and we have somebody who was just a random message to us.
Yes.
And decided that she wanted to jump in. She's like, do I need to prepare anything? Tell you anything about me? I was like, no, just your first name so I know who you are. So, and Shelly, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah.
So, what I wanted to start with was maybe, I was going to start with Becky, but I was almost now leaning towards Danny because you were just speaking about non-believers. Mm-hmm. And to jump right into that, I think we're going to start with Danny because Nikki was like, hey, let's go see Lynn. And he's like, nope. And she actually...
That's not happening in my house.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. So actually, I'd like to turn it over to you and him, and you can ask him questions about the non-believer.
Yeah. So had you heard her read her first?
No, we've known Lynn for quite a few years.
Yeah.
I work with her husband. We both work with her husband. Mm-hmm. And so we've known each other for years. And we've always supported her in a lot of the different ventures that she does to make ends meet and to better people's lives. But so we've known each other for a long time. And when it came about... And my wife, Nikki, was like, let's go see Lynn. I was like, no, we're not doing this. Because I was raised Catholic,
right.
Half Italian. So we were raised Catholic, stepped away from the Catholic Church when I became a teenager. That's a whole other story. But
it's a real experience.
Oh, Jesus.
I didn't want to look at a man and call him father.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Father is my father.
Right. Yeah.
So I stepped away from that, and I became a born-again Christian shortly after my father passed away. Okay. And so the church as a whole frowns upon this thing. That it could be a demon talking. I can't see that.
Right.
I can't see someone trying to share the positivity and trying to heal people's hearts, being anything evil.
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah.
So that's...
There's no strings attached.
Yeah.
It's like with bad things, there's strings attached. There's, I'll do this, but what do I have to do for you? And I think that becomes where, like you're saying, there's only an upside to feeling comfort in some
Exactly.
ways. Yeah. So at first you're like, okay, no, I grew up learning this one particular way. My mind's kind of set. Did you just say, "Why don't you go do it?"
And she
had a good experience.
Was persistent.
Okay, yeah,
she was persistent. She's got a persuasive way about herself.
Right.
So she persuaded me.
Yeah.
So we went, and the first time we sat down, and she did a reading for me. I had a a full gallery, so to speak.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I had a lot of family that's passed that was standing there waiting to talk,
And it was closed
lined
off.
up.
Right?
And I was closed off at
Right.
the time, so
Yeah.
it's like,
What was one validation that you felt was the moment that it wasn't common knowledge enough for her to know? It wasn't even common knowledge enough maybe to her to know, and it made it a moment for you to be like, okay, something happened. The coin. Okay.
my father collected coins, rare coins, everything. She had no clue.
Yeah.
I
And
didn't know.
and it seemed like a relay race to me in my head, that whatever it was, but each family member that wanted to speak, the one preceding them passed something on to Lynn, almost to signify who was coming next without knowing who was coming
Wow.
next.
That was one of them.
My brother handed Lynn a coin,
Mm-hmm.
and at first I didn't know what it was. It was my dad. you
Yeah.
know? And then when my dad was done talking, he passed on to Lynn an apron. It's definitely mom.
Yeah.
Definitely mom.
So
And she
Italian,
said she
yeah.
smelled baked bread, and she said, I see all these loaves of bread. My mom was a baker by trade.
Wow.
She we grew up down south, so she worked at a Piggly Wiggly.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I have
was
no
like-
idea what the heck
She was
that is.
in a couple of years.
She was the night baker
Okay.
for a Piggly Wiggly. So
Wow.
yeah, I've had fond memories of baked goods.
Yeah, right.
growing
for
up.
sure.
So, but there were just little things
Yeah.
like that. I mean, the coin to me was,
That was the marker of it took you from the fence.
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like-
I was
and
like,
then you're just like, okay, what's the next thing is she's gonna say that's gonna help,
Yeah.
validate. And,
and nobody knew that my dad collected coins.
yeah.
Not even me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even
In
know.
the Navy, I didn't know
In
that
the Navy,
either.
yeah.
Oh, right.
Nope,
Wow.
didn't know that either.
Yeah. And those are so when you ended the session with you, how did it make you feel?
I felt a little more closure. Me and my father, I wouldn't say we were estranged, but we were at odds for most of my young adult and adult life because, and back when I was 18, I had a psychiatrist tell me the reason you fight with your dad so much is because you're exactly like him. I was like, no,
Right.
I'm exactly like
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so we were at odds,
Yeah.
and on his dying bed, I apologized to him. Broke down because
Yeah.
all these years I wasted with
Yeah.
him, and part of the validation I got from Lynn was that he was saying, "You're everything I wanted you to be.
Yeah.
You're everything that I was hoping you would grow up to be."
Yeah.
And there was no letdown,
Right.
so to speak,
Yeah.
from him.
That's nice.
So it was closure.
Yeah. Closure with like it not being closed. That's the funny
Right.
word.
Absolutely.
Right? It closed the topic of like the wondering of what was happening, what he thought, how it ended.
Was he
But
disappointed?
now now it's like an opening as well, where you feel now that he's present in your day to day.
Absolutely.
That was one thing that when in our last episode, and she mentioned my father, and it was one of the probably the biggest moments was that I felt that he was missing opportunities with my family and things, big parts of my life that he wasn't able to be part of. And getting those validation points where you can feel like that they're still present, there's still that energy is still here.
Absolutely.
That makes you feel so much better. That oh cool, this is such a great birthday party with my daughter. I'm glad that I know that her I call him Opa, which is like the nickname for grandfather in German, which is like my mom's Oma. He's still here. He's watching this. He's participating in his own way. So that's
Right.
nice.
And the ring?
The ring thing was crazy. Yeah. So that was my validation moment, my coin per se, was that she said, she said that, oh, so your mom hasn't remarried. It was about 9 years ago. I was like, nope, she never remarried. And then she's like, and she's still wearing his ring. And I was like, yes. And then Mike was like, you mean her ring? And then Lynn goes, no, his ring. And I was like, yes. And the reason why that was so significant was I did not know my mom was wearing my dad's wedding band until this year. She came out and she gave me one of my dad's old rings as like an heirloom. It was like one of those gold puzzle rings that's like 6 different bands together and you have to put it together so it stays together. Well, he never wore that one because he never wanted it to break apart and had to put it back together and not be able to when he needed to, like to have it on. He was in the Air Force, so he couldn't wear his ring a lot when he traveled for military stuff. And so she always wore his wedding band. And I didn't even realize it because it was on her right hand. And so that was something that I had just learned. And so for her to say that and for him to think the obvious, which is the easy thing for someone who didn't know would say is like, oh, she never remarried, but so she's probably still wearing her ring.
That's right.
That would be the obvious. This was not obvious. So all of a sudden it really validated it for me at that moment.
Heck yeah.
And those are nice little moments. It was crazy hearing some of the other validations that happened during that with Amy.
Yeah.
The dimes and just this stuff. It's like where you just think, there's no way.
The daisies when she was like, no, no, that doesn't resonate. And then what happened the next day?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
she sends
like a stone
pictures.
or something in her front yard that had a daisy on it. It's just like, wow, I didn't even, there's some crazy stuff that you just can't explain. And it's really what it comes down to, which I think is really cool about Amy being the mentor and getting you into this class at MCC, is that we're not really trying to understand, I don't think, the spiritual world per se. We're trying to understand intuition and growing that like a muscle, like working it out so that you can be more open to things. Being open to this type of thing also dominoes into being open to anything else in your life.
That's right.
Instead of always being so, oh no, I don't want to do that. Oh, I've never done that. I'm never going to do that. I've always done things this way. I'm not going to do something new. It actually changes the way you think, which I think is really an important part. And certainly everybody needs more of that.
Yes.
And so that's a good thing too.
So some of the things that I do and I've done with Becky over here is doing a centering session. Because we all have the gift. We all have the gift to hear spirit. We all have the gift to feel spirit. Well, Becky had it when she was younger and she just kind of closed it off and stuff. So after a few sessions with her brother Nate, now she can hear her brother himself. She doesn't need me to tell her anything. Actually, she'll tell me sometimes when he's being a smart aleck and if something that I said.
Yeah, that's fun.
So it's pretty cool. But definitely I get the backlash of, oh, I thought you looked them up. I thought that you looked to see. But Nikki here, she was the one who set me up with Becky. These are the two
culprits.
The culprits that set me up. And I did her reading with her brother. And then that's where I would like her to take some time to, not the Reader Digest, not like quick. I want you to explain what happened so they can understand.
So Nikki, my co-worker / friend, she told me about Lynn, and I knew who Lynn was because I also work with her husband, and I've met her. I met her years ago at a mutual place, and I've known her for quite some time on a kind of like acquaintances. So Nikki tells me about, Lynn's doing mediumship, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And being that my brother had passed just a year ago, and it was very traumatic for me. We were very close. If I wasn't with my husband or my kids, I was with my brother. And we even went to the gym together. We did a lot of things together. And she was like, she surprised me and said, I paid for your session and you're going to go see her. So I was like, oh crap, now I got to go. And it's not that it wasn't for me on the fence. I knew exactly. I believe in that type of spirit. I know there's another realm. I know there's different planes. I know I've read it. I've seen it. I felt it. And just being around her, it was just more validation that, yes, it does exist. Mm-hmm. And it was baffling to me because as soon as I walked in, and her house is very comfortable, she was like, oh my gosh, whoever's with you is like very strong. I'm so cold. I'm freezing. And the whole session, she was cold. Like she would touch me and her hands were like icicles. And
I was under a blanket too.
Yeah, and I'm just laying down, and it's very calming, very comfortable, and I'm nice and toasty. I am. I'm laying on a pillow. I'm just like, and being that I have met her, and who her husband is and who my husband is, I made sure to look a little bit different. So I had an event earlier that day.
Set me up, I'm telling you.
I did. We set her up, and she used my. I go by Becky, but my name is Rebecca. She told Lynn my name is Rebecca. Didn't give her my last name. Didn't say anything. It's my friend Rebecca. Blah blah blah. And that's really all Nikki told her. Was very vague about it. And she's like, okay. I walk in and I have long sleeves on because of my tattoos. I had makeup on and I had my hair done, like slick back 'cause I had an event that day. And as soon as I like laid down, road brother, road brother, road brother. And that's all she kept saying. I go, yes. And she goes, this male figure. And like the way she was explaining him was to the T, his sarcasm, his flirtiness with her. And
They do. They do.
Yeah, he thinks she's gorgeous. He does. He's like, she's so pretty. And it's her smile and her eyes. He always tells me it's her eyes and her smile. So, and as I'm laying there, she's telling me validation after validation. What did it for me is that his eyes, like his piercing eyes and his sense of humor. Like she was even cursing and she don't curse. So when she was saying verbatim what he would say, like F something, F the paperwork, it made it worse, made it look worse than what it really was. And it was, because I was in California. My son was getting home. He just got off the bus from deployment. My oldest is a Marine. So when I had to drive 5 hours home because my brother was hit by a vehicle and passed crossing the street. And I just didn't believe it. And even now, like I still have, it can't be real. And then I have an emotional moment and then I carry on. But when I spoke with Lynn, after leaving that session, I felt a weight lifted. I felt validation. I felt at peace. And ever since then, it's just been a lot easier for me to deal with. But then she tells me, she goes, oh my gosh, you sound like this. We were getting close to the end and she was like, it was something like about TikTok or something.
So she said that let me tell you a little bit about me. She says, I'm Phillips. I'm like, okay. She goes, I work with your husband. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, what was your point? And then she's like, my brother was killed walking across 66. And I was like, what? Wait. I'm like, there's a girl on my TikTok. It happened because I'm thinking they're sisters.
I have no sisters.
Right.
So I'm like, there's a girl on my TikTok this happened to. She goes, that's me. I'm Becky. I'm Nemo's wife. As soon as she said that, I was like, oh,
She sat back
my
and she was like, you
God.
can't be serious. You and Nikki set me up. And I was like, yes, we did.
Yeah.
I took off my sweater
Yeah.
and she's like, oh my gosh.
In your videos,
We didn't
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I never let them live that down. So
Yeah.
I believe that.
Well, it was natural. We didn't even plot it, so
Yeah,
it just
yeah.
came.
We were in each
Yeah.
other's head or something. It was like
Yeah.
As
Wi-Fi.
usual.
They
Yeah.
do that all the time.
Wait,
It's just a look.
so
Right.
after that session, I had Amber's before, and that's where the uncle and when I teleported, when I became, the little girl and stuff. Amber's session was so traumatic for me that opened my eyes to, okay, yes, I need to go see Amy. Something's going on. Oh my God. When they set me up, that was like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So, and I haven't told this story yet, so I've waited. So the story about my tattoo here, I want to go over that real quick. So I've read about 70 people now. I think a couple I have not been able to read. Either one, they didn't have that much people who's passed around them, or nobody really wanted to come through for them. But with that, I felt compelled to get wings. So I was driving to Amber's house one day, and I look up in the sky, and right above Bull Mountain were these huge wings. It looked like an angel. It was very thin in the middle and huge wings coming out the side. And I was like, wow, maybe that's a sign. Paid no attention to it, didn't think nothing about it going forward. And then I was at home. I got done body sculpting, and I'm like, hey, no one's home. I'm going to go lay down. I get to take a nap. Husband's at work. I'm not allowed to nap when he's home, by the way. So anyway, so with that being said, I just laid in bed and I was Googling angel wings. Did you find angel wings when you Googled?
Not that one.
Not this one? Okay. So for about, I would say, good 3 minutes, I scrolled trying to find an angel wing that I liked. But they had little ones, big ones, huge ones, the whole arm, the whole back, the whole neck, whatever.
Yeah.
None of them looked appealing at all. So I was about ready just to say, no, I'm not going to get any. Like, that's just not for me. So then I was like, well, I'm going to call upon Nate. He always hangs out. He's always here. So I call upon Nate, and I asked him to help me find a tattoo. About 25 more pictures that I scrolled through is this one. And he made me feel like this is like me, not me, but like me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. So I messaged Becky, and I said, hey, can you message Nemo and see how much this will be? So he came back with a price, and that was almost about what I made. So I was like, wow, well, let him know I have cash whenever he has time. Now, he's usually booked out 2 months or so. So I thought, there's no way I'm getting in anytime soon, so whatever. She said, he can get you in now. Well, there goes my nap. So I head over, and I go get it done, and this is dedicated to Becky and her brother. And in my wing somewhere, Nemo put their initials. I never looked. I never wanted to see where it's at. But this is a tribute to them, just because I feel like they keep pushing my limits in what I can hear from Spirit. And just they challenge me. Her and her brother do.
He challenges you, not me.
Yeah. I'll be driving down the street, and I see him do things out my car window. And I'm like, Becky, was this your brother? And she said,
Yep.
yeah, it was. So... But that's the story, and I've never told anybody about my wings. So that's the only time. I've not even posted them on social media yet. Not that I'm embarrassed. It's just I haven't came out with them yet, because it's not like me to have anything like this, a tattoo. Like, damn.
Some people like have a tattoo so they can show to other people. Some people have them for themselves.
Yeah,
Yep.
true. True. So anyway, so that's the rundown of everything.
Yeah, yeah. And so do you want to start shifting into anything that you can feel?
Yeah.
Do? Okay.
So right when Shelly walked in the door, I felt 2 mother figures. I felt it could be a mother figure is anywhere from a teacher who you really looked up to. It could be an aunt. It could be a best friend's mom who raised you. It doesn't necessarily have to be your mom, your grandma, or anything like that. But this grandma right here, I felt that you had a very strong connection with. I do see that in what she's showing me is that you're a little girl. She's not coming through with any strong validations with anything. It's just showing me that grandma's here and that she's present. I guess there wasn't that much time spent where she's going to try to throw out like you went to the ball or anything with her or whatever. But the other, I don't know if the other one was the other grandma, or if it's probably just like an aunt peeking in, or a best friend's mom. I don't know. They're kind of just peeking in. So unfortunately, there's nothing really strong coming through right now. But we kind of talked about that a little bit. She kind of just really wanted to be a part and just watch it take place. So I appreciate that. But you can come see me anytime, and we'll have that one-on-one and see if they want to say a little bit more than just showing me your presence. I did feel a little... I felt a man presence as well, a guy presence, but I really felt like it was Nate messing with me. So, and she said she didn't have a man or a guy figure in her life that passed. So I kind of told Nate to cut it out, because that's how he is. That's how he rolls. He will totally mess with me. So my apologies on that. I don't have much that's coming out, but
well, they're probably just like me, coming to observe.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Very conservative.
Right.
With Becky here, I told Nate to go mess with her, go make her legs tingle, and like I was just totally messing with her, and I said, hey, I told Nate to go mess with you, and then she felt it in her legs, but she was so busy she just had a second to just throw out foot or something like that. And I was like, well, that wasn't it. Come to find out after we talked, yes, she did feel the tingling from her foot to her legs or whatever that whatever happened with that, but it backfired on me. So I was doing a class with Amy at my house where we were doing, what was that called? Intuition development. And 15 minutes before everyone's supposed to show up, he got a hold of me, made me itch from head to toe. These people are about ready to show up, and I'm itching so bad, I need to get in the tub and wash because I'm so itchy, and I blame him because I was messing with his sister. So what better way to get back at me?
He's very protective over me. Actually, I was sitting down on the bed, and it was my, like, oh, you know how you sit a certain way too long on your foot or something and it falls asleep? Mind you, I just sat down and it was my left foot doing that. And I was like, what the heck is going on? And she tells me, that's why it's like I threw out foot to her, and she was like, okay, that doesn't do anything. She goes, okay, maybe not. And then she tells me, she goes, you know, your brother is mean, in not so many words. I was like, why? She goes, because I told him to mess with you. And I was like, no, he decided to mess with my husband and my husband's a big gamer. So he couldn't game because something was off on it. And then she was like, I'm itchy from head to toe and I got to meet people in 15 minutes. And now I'm sitting here in the bathtub because of your brother. I was like, you're welcome.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went down. And I couldn't even believe it. I was like, these people are about ready to show up and I'm in the bathtub. I couldn't even believe it. If anybody showed up a little bit earlier, I wouldn't even have been ready. Yeah. And we had like, I don't know, 5 or 6, 7 people show up.
Lucky for us, you know, Nikki's a last minuter.
Yeah, right?
That's why we get along.
Yep, right.
So I'm going to jump in on Becky here real quick. The other day, once again in the bath, don't ask why. So I'm in the bath and I hear Nana's here. I was like, who's Nana? And Nate said, Nana's here with me. That's how I knew it was connected to Becky. So then I've never read Grandma before Nana. I never read Nana before. So I was like, wow, hey, who's Nana? And she was like, that was my grandma. I said, did she pass? And she was like, yeah. I was like, oblivious. So even though I have my friends, like we don't sit there and talk about the people who's passed away. Right. So when it comes at me like that, I'm like,
she texts me. She'll text us.
So your Nana, which so you were going through some tough time in the last couple of weeks. So when she was trying to jump in, she was just trying to let you know that she was there for you, that you needed her support. Were you in California? Yeah, I know you were in California. Let me rephrase that. The time that you were in California. I don't know what was going on, why you went or whatever, but there was a little bit of difficulties going on right there, and she was just wanting to let you know that she was there with you. Was it her, the person who you learned how to cook with? Because I see you as a young little kid in the kitchen with her.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're making, but we're making a lot. You had a lot of people, like it was like everyone would come on, like was it on Sundays or something? It was a day where...
Like Christmas, maybe a holiday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm just seeing a whole bunch of people showing up and you're helping her get ready and stuff, helping in the kitchen. There's
a lot, yes.
Yeah. So it's weird because I know your ability. So for me to say that Nana knows that you're talking and she hears you talking with her, I know that you know that. So, but just know that she's saying she's hearing you. And I don't know if you know that she hears you.
I don't hear her, so it is validation that I needed to hear that because I'm getting ready to go on a long trip in August, and it's it's getting closer, even though it's August, but it's out of the country.
Oh my God.
Yes. And it's a big thing for me, my mom, and my aunt.
Yeah.
It's very big.
Yeah. So I heard needed her, like you needed her.
Mm-hmm. So I can understand when I go out of the country, what I'm going to get myself into, who am I going to meet. I don't want to look like basically a dummy. Like just some validation from her that I needed her consent, I guess, and her okay, like, it's okay, Becky. You'll do fine.
She's saying that your mom's going to guide you. You may think that your mom is the same as you, but I guess the energy is going to go through your mom. through grandma. That's what she's showing me.
I like my mom. She's all right. I'm just kidding. She's a redhead and a Gemini. Sound familiar?
I was just going to say, Nikki. I don't know why I heard Nana used to. Did Nana used to go where you're going?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, Nana used to what? Go? What?
Mm-hmm.
You said you're going to Mexico?
Mm-mm.
I don't know where you're going, but Nate said, don't drink the water. It happens. I'm sorry. It'll happen a lot.
He's stupid. But he's not wrong. It's always should be like clean water where I'm going, I guess.
Was her passing long? Like she was sick for a while? She wasn't here. Was she in Kingman?
No.
Yeah. Because I'm like, was she there? Did she bring you stuff? Nope, nope, nope. I don't see you there. Yeah, you couldn't be there. But she knew why you couldn't be there. You had to work. Yeah. Yeah. So she understands.
Oh my God.
So she understands that why you weren't there, why you couldn't go. You had the kids you had to take care of and you had to work. Were you in Bullhead? I don't know why I'm seeing like water. I don't know why I'm seeing water. I don't know what the water could be from.
Oh.
The tears, maybe? Did you cry? Are those your tears? Is she showing me water
Maybe.
because of the tears? 'Cause
Or
it's
where
not
I'm
a
going.
river or nothing.
Or where I'm going to.
Yeah. No, because we're talking about her passing.
Oh. It's not me. She's talking about my mom. My mom was there when she took her last breath, and my mom was a mess.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it's not like water as in like a lake or a bottle. I just see water.
Like in a hand.
No, kind of like, you remember, what is that, Alice in the Wonderland? She's crying and she's just sitting in a puddle of water. That's kind of like what I'm seeing.
My mom was sitting down when I walked into the hospital room, like
Just crying
just
everywhere.
everywhere.
That's what she's kind of showing me is that. That was weird. You said that she was a redhead,
My
right?
mom. My mom.
Not Nana?
Mm-mm.
I don't understand this. I don't know how to spell it.
What are you trying to say?
She said, love you, mija.
My grandma had
Is
red
that
hair.
you?
Not me then.
And mija and all that is our Mexican. That's how we.
M-I-J-A.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so I'm going to say your grandma just jumped in on her reading, and
My
they will
grandma's
do
a
that all the
Scorpio,
time.
too, so.
Oh my gosh, she don't care. That was just so weird. Like maybe she just got some energy and she was able to just jump in because that
She
didn't
heard
make no
redhead.
sense.
She's like, say what?
Yeah, because
Girl,
that made no
Cancer.
sense. I'm talking to you, and I'm like, how is this coming in?
Yeah, my grandma had red hair.
Well, no, she's telling you love you, Mia.
Is she from here?
No, well, originally they're from Spain. Like
That's why she has red hair.
I did that ancestry thing, and I found out
Spaniard.
Yeah, Spaniard, and she always used to have long red hair.
Yeah, she's not from here.
But they lived in Yuma, like I said. All my
Yeah.
family was.
But it's very. Did she have a really thick accent?
No, not too much.
There's someone in her family that has a thick accent that's trying to get with you.
No,
I don't know what
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
what I'm saying. She's fallen into her mediumship big time too.
It's like it is a female, blonde hair maybe, but a very thick accent, light eyes, blonde hair, dirty blonde hair, and definitely a thick accent. Like it's very cultural, like it's tradition for Christmas. You know, like you play loteria on Christmas Eve, something like a thing like that, like playing a game.
My grandma, she used to do her crosswords. That was her thing. Like
I don't know
all the
how
time.
I know that.
Yeah,
it just
she
gave
was-
me chills. I don't
when
know.
I think of like crosswords type stuff, she always was doing those books. Like always.
she was a boss,
so,
huh? She was
yeah.
pretty good at them. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so maybe that was.
Just keep an ear out, and it does happen. They do cross over. Was it your mom who I was reading, and there was so many husbands, and they were all pretty much named the same, pretty much all the same? Yeah. So I read Nikki's mom, and all of her husbands pretty much had the same name, same body style, same hair. Like try to read that.
She
and
had
it
a
was like-
type.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, there was
Terrible.
three different guys that I was talking to, and they were all just like intermingling with each other.
Weren't they
So-
giggling about it or something
Yeah,
like that?
they
So
were-
They thought
they're-
it was funny?
Yeah. So spirits still have the same attitude crossing that they had here. That's how we are able to identify who they are on the other side. Like Nate wouldn't be the smart aleck. Like she would never know that her brother was here if it wasn't for those smart aleck comments.
Very sarcastic. Sarcastic.
And he even said to me that her husband was a cool cat. And for me, it's like, how would I?
The crazy thing is,
Like-
he said it to me all the time. Nemo never knew that's what he said. He's like, that's a cool cat. That's a good dude. And she said those words when we had our first session. He's a cool cat, and he's a good dude. And he always told me, especially when we were at the gym doing our thing, he goes, "You're so lucky you got a good dude." I was like, I know.
So just know, Becky, that your grandma knows why you couldn't be there the time of her passing before she passed. So just know that. She understands. I want to jump back over to your brother real quick. Why is he talking about his lighter again?
Because he's stupid.
Did you move it? Did you move it?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Or put it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows you touched it. I see it laying down now. So I saw it standing up. Now I see it laying down. So
I'm sorry I had to move it because my plants were there, okay?
all right. So her brother wants his lighter on the mantle, which is like like when you look into the kitchen, you see like a little shelf. So it's like that. And then he asked for his shoes to be under the bed. And as I told her to put it under the bed, she was messaging me at the same time I was messaging her. He wanted on your side. And she was saying, on whose side? And
Yeah.
the messages received
Right, the
to each
same
other at
time.
the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And the funny thing is, after I had that session, she told me, he wants his effing lighter back. And then I was like,
Not to touch his fucking shoes or something.
and
yeah,
shoes.
don't wear my effing shoes.
Yeah.
That was that time. And then with the lighter, it's in his evidence bag. Nobody knew it was there, not even my husband. So after the session, I made sure to video her, or like a little Snapchat type deal thing. I pulled the bag out of the closet, And I opened the bag, did everything, and it's still in the plastic bag.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I pulled out the shoes. And I was like, here's the shoes. And she told me they were brand new. I go, yeah, they actually were. And my brother was hit so hard, he was knocked out of his shoes. So they had him in evidence, and there was still the orange spray paint on him. So one shoe was this way, one shoe was that way. It was pretty bad.
So to sum up you, it's just, Nate wants you to leave his lighter alone. And I said that nicely. Okay?
Oh, you censored yourself
Yep.
because that's not what he said.
Exactly. I'm trying to be nice. Why do I feel and I almost felt compelled to have you FaceTime your wife or do a live video with your wife because for some reason I keep feeling I don't know if it's like daddy's little girl or little girl. I don't know what I'm getting from your wife. I don't know if like she's like if the grandfather passed away or something.
On hers?
On her side, yeah. I keep leaning towards your wife right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that
I don't think a grandfather.
you don't think so? Or her father?
She's not the youngest. I mean, she's kind of like a daddy's girl with him.
And he passed?
No.
He's still here?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm just gonna put that off to the side to see.
Sisters or something like that. So.
So like if it like that's how I'm getting like daddy's little girl. So I don't know if someone's coming through telling me that she's daddy's little girl or like somebody in her family is trying to validate who your wife is to them. But I'm just gonna write that to the side and see if they elaborate a little bit more because they've touched base twice. I mean to the point where I wrote her name down a little bit earlier. So we'll see. Your baby is the little girl. Your baby.
She's definitely daddy's little girl. There's two of them. So which one? Yeah, I mean they're both.
You got two girls?
Yeah.
I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah. 7-month and 3-year-old.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think this is your dad coming back again. Because I heard lullaby. I heard daddy's little girl lullaby.
No say.
I'm going out on a limb here.
Do it. Live it
Is
up.
it your wife putting the little girl to bed? Either your wife is singing a lullaby or there's a lullaby playing?
She doesn't really sing lullabies.
Or is it time for I don't know. Like it's 6:42.
Yeah, it's too
I don't
early.
know.
Oh, wait, oh my God! One of them's 3-year-old is just a pain in the butt right now.
Terrible twos, horrible threes.
Yeah, she won't go to sleep till who knows when. Every night is different, it seems like, but she tries to push it later and later.
11 and 13-year-old, it doesn't get any better.
I have an 8-year-old.
It's tough.
I don't know what to do with her.
I'm so happy, but it is definitely tougher than.
Yeah.
It's like when you're, because I'm kind of an older dad, because I'm 43 and my first is at 3 years old, so I saw all my friends have kids, and I'm like, it can't be that bad.
Ah.
It can't be that bad. And now their kids are all like 16 and 17.
Oh my
and some
God.
even going off to, and I'm like in the midst of it all, and I'm like, I have completely different respect for you now. Like,
Yeah.
and your wife, like just
Yeah.
understanding that, it is tough. But
I had my
the
youngest
warriors
at
are tough.
37 turning 38.
Yeah.
He's 5.
Oh,
And my oldest is 22.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good range.
No.
Daddy's
I have
little girl.
4.
I don't know Daddy's little girl other than I definitely. I mean, they're both. I mean, that's a hard one. And no lullabies that I'm aware of, unless she sings them when I'm not there or something. But and we have a little music box that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm kind of
it's
hearing.
got this little like crank
Yeah.
on it, and it does a lullaby.
Yeah, that's what I'm
one of
thinking.
those old ones.
Because I'm kind of I'm seeing little girl. So daddy's little girl. So I see it as your dad is talking to me again about your wife with daddy's little girl, Lullaby. So I don't know if he's trying to tell me he's there with her. I mean, why would he go, like, why would I have to do charades to find out that your dad is with her when she's putting her to bed at night?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I mean, stranger things have happened. So just
I'll ask her
just keep that
Rosie, like,
well,
if she sings little things or if there's anything that's
that little wind up thing.
Yeah, well, what's cool about that wind-up thing is it's like the same song as one of my old, like, as soon as we got it, like, we were, like, at the store, I was like, oh, my God, that sounds so familiar. I was like, I think that's, like, my old Teddy, like,
Oh,
from,
my
like,
God. Teddy
1984.
Ruxpin.
And I remembered
God.
that was the song.
Yeah.
So that's why I got it, because I was like, oh, yeah, we gotta get it. So maybe it's
I think we should get your wife on the phone and find out. Be like, hey.
What
Hey.
are you
she's
doing?
got a kid, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Feeding
The
right
lullaby's
now.
playing right now.
I
Right.
know.
That's
That's
what
what
I was
I'm
thinking.
wondering.
I'll ask her. when I
That's
get
what I'm
home.
wondering when I get home.
Yeah.
Take a
If
note.
If I call and
6:45.
the
6:45.
7-month.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah. So,
Especially if she got him to sleep at a decent time and it's kind of
Yeah.
peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
probably throat punch my husband.
right.
Yeah, that would definitely be it.
This is a new one for you, Nikki. I don't know who the male presence is, and I keep trying to tap into him. And I know your mom's had 100 husbands that passed. It's none of them. They have a very different demeanor to them. But I don't recall her saying about a brother who's passed away.
My brother.
Your brother
Remember?
passed away?
Yeah.
Do I remember?
She was, yes, she was tuning in too. Remember? The day that we were at your house and...
It was right after our first session when I actually was able
No,
to
that was
focus.
70 people ago. I don't remember.
Not rememberable.
And I didn't even know
Get
your
me
brother
out of
had
bed.
passed at that session. I didn't know he had passed.
It was a long time ago.
I'm like new here. Like, did I just land on the face of this earth?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I don't recall.
It was our first time, and it was.
Well, don't refresh my memory.
Well, I have to say, yeah, obviously I do. It was
Let me
when.
help you.
Was it when I
Talking about
said
bikini?
about the lady with dark hair for you, and you're like, what? And you leaned up. Was it that session?
I think.
Yeah. And you just like you were. I know you were there. I was sitting next to, and as soon as I sat down next to her, she goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so cold." I go, "And you're only so hot." Yeah, it was that session. It was just, and
So just so you know, anytime Becky comes over, Lynn pulls out all the blankets
for some reason
and the
I have.
beanies and the mittens.
Yeah. She's, oh my gosh.
I'm frozen.
Yeah.
Am I trying to heat on?
No. It's because of the spirits and
So
stuff.
my hand.
Is that why I'm always cold?
Are you?
I was getting really cold throughout this time, and now I'm like warm. But
What?
earlier I was
Did
like,
you just make me cold?
I don't know.
You pushed
my-
your grandma over to me or something?
Well, there's definitely
Wow.
something here because I'm perfectly fine.
Yeah,
And my
and I'm
hand's
cold.
warm. But right here, like I could feel a difference.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's the window. It could be the window too,
No,
but
that's pretty good.
I don't
No,
freaking
that's
know.
pretty good insulation.
But
So that's so weird. So I try to keep notes of everyone who I read. So as soon as I heard that, I was going to peek back, and then I thought, nah, let's just let this ride out. But that is just so crazy because I don't remember that. So when I'm doing my readings, and the reason why I don't remember that is because when I'm doing my readings, Spirit is kind of taking over, and they're telling me what to say. So the way that I see it is,
Ring a bell?
so if you make up a lie or if you make up something that is not your story, you're not going to remember it. So that's how I see it with my mediumship is I will read somebody and I will give them the message, but I won't remember it because it's not my story. It's their story. They remember it. So things like this that come through and Nikki is like, no, don't you remember? I'm like, no, I don't. And I read her sister who had a baby who she aborted, and the baby came through and spoke. Nikki was recording it, and she's like, Lynn, your voice changed. And I was like, oh, you heard it, remember? And I was like, what? I don't want to hear that. Like, I didn't want to go back through that. And then she played it, and I don't remember half of that I said. So
I think it's kind of the same thing that you got going on with that with my brother, because I think you were saying something like you were saying like.
Oh,
No, that's not what
person?
happened to me.
Because I swear I don't remember nothing about your.
Because I thought something else
brother.
happened, and both of you guys actually told me.
Yeah,
And you're like,
he
no,
just told me.
I this.
Yes,
What?
he just refreshed my memory just like that. Oh my God! Now, yes, I do remember.
Yeah, because you talked about a male figure, and it ended up being his grandpa, right? And one thing you wanted, something it was, and I said his fishing pole. And you looked up at me like, what? And I was like, yeah, he said his fishing pole or something with fishing. And then I didn't know how I knew that. And then I didn't know that whoever the dark hair lady was, if she was a nurse, something like that. I can't remember. It was something along the lines of that. And you're like, how? I was like, dude, I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. You're extremely tired.
Oh, well, I was at the gym before I got
Well, probably, yeah, you're tired, so that's probably why you're having a hard, like, no one's coming through, because you're just drained.
I was thinking though right now, when you said young man when I came in, I did have a guy, male friend that I was close to for years, and he passed away like 3 years ago or so, but he was around my age. He was like 40, he would be 41 now. But I started thinking, you said young man, and I'm like, I don't remember any, but no,
Yeah.
and he was a character,
41
so
is young.
yeah, he would have he would have been somebody that would make a presence as well. Another Scorpio that was in my life.
They're good people.
Yeah, I'm a Scorpio myself, so that's why I know.
When's your birthday?
November 4th.
Oh, my goodness.
So
Silva's a
that
Scorpio.
was crazy, Nikki. I'm just so shocked. And then as soon as you said something, everything came to me like a floodgates.
Just remembered everything.
Yeah. So just know he's here. He's not jumping in. What he did say is that, did you see a shadow in your house in this last week or so? Because he's saying that you saw him.
Your laundry room.
No, but that's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
She had got something else in her laundry room.
And that's just some
Well, I
random
remember
thing.
Yeah.
you talking about your
Yeah.
laundry room. I go, maybe your
Yeah.
laundry room, maybe?
I mean, I always kind of think I saw something,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, so it was this last week.
what was he doing?
He was walking. He said like he normally does, but you saw him this time. Like towards the hallway, like where the little kitchen nook area is over here. That's where he's showing me. I know now you're going to go back on your cameras, aren't you?
Yep, she sure is.
Give me a date.
Specific
Maybe a time-ish, so I
time.
don't have to look too much.
Well, it's obvious when you were home, so anytime after two or three. Maybe when you went home early because of your appointment, your blood drawn. Did you go home and change first?
No.
No?
We went straight to the lab.
Just maybe after that.
Yeah,
It was on Friday, yeah.
probably.
Was it Thursday, Friday? No, I don't know.
So
You left early Friday. Everything was done.
So basically, what your brother is saying that he's around your house. He's helping protect your house from stuff that's going on, and I think that's might been what chased that energy blob away, because that was about the same time that you told me to hone in on that energy blob, and it's no longer there. I believe brother is telling me now that he is there to protect your house
Oh, cool.
because he's never been there before. Well, not to protect your house. He's never came through like that.
Tell him thanks.
He said, no problem. Has he been on your mind a lot lately or something? Are we coming up to like his anniversary of his
No,
passing?
not really. I mean, I think about him quite a bit, but
Yeah.
not like, I guess more than usual. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what he's showing me is kind of like you're like, I can really use my brother right about now. I'm just going through some crap and I could really use my brother right now. That's what he's kind of making me feel
I guess
like.
I'm more like festering on what actually, happened, and kind of just like looking more into it.
But what he's saying right now is that he doesn't want you to keep going through. He doesn't want you to keep playing that in your mind. Although you want to find justice for him, he said, stop. Don't remember that. Don't keep playing that in your head. He doesn't want you to think of him that way. He says he knows this means a lot to you, trying to find the person that did that. But what he's saying is, right now, that's not important. That's not that's not important. What he wants you to do is just remember the good times that you guys had together. Don't keep replaying what happened. And he says that he knows that you worry about him suffering when that happened. He said even though it did take place, he didn't feel it. I guess like the endorphins kick in or something. Something kicks in and it takes away that pain part. Like maybe like the angels know, or somebody will know that's going to happen, so they numb you so you don't feel it. But he was aware he couldn't turn his head. He was aware that people were there. So that
Watching.
Yeah, he knows that they were all there watching him struggle. But he didn't feel the pain and he wasn't scared. Something must have went in and just numbed him to where he couldn't feel it.
That's interesting.
Because he's showing me it was a little bit of time that it did take, for him to cross over. But he wasn't scared. He wasn't in pain. It wasn't anything that he wants you to keep playing in your head. He wants you to play the good times that you guys had. He keeps talking about your sister. Your sister's on a mission, he said.
Oh, God.
Your sister's on a
She's
mission.
always on a mission.
Yeah. And he said, just let it go. I feel there's another guy with your...
Which part are we letting go?
The whole of him, the way he crossed over.
Yeah, I'll have to tell her, because I'm sure she's probably on a little more of a mission in that department, because she lives right there where he was.
Yeah. So what he's just trying to say is just let it go.
You said that you feel another one there, which would be my sister's.
Because there's nothing he can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, if there's going to be no justice, obviously, then
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, I feel that.
same with your brother.
Yeah.
So what he's saying, the way to show him, like to honor him instead of go after the person that did this to him, he doesn't want you to show him honor in that way. You just show him honor in loving him, knowing his spirit is here, knowing he's at your house protecting you from that energy blob that was at your house. He got rid of that. And that's why when you asked me to hone in on it and I said I can't find it, this just explains what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Because I haven't been able to find it.
Good.
And I told them that. That was probably last Thursday. You can go through your texts.
Right.
That was probably about the same time. Okay?
He went in there and kicked it out.
Yeah. So just...
A bad energy?
Yeah, she had a... so Amy went over to their house and there was a negative part of their house, and Amy told them to get with me and have me hone in on it. Well, what am I going to do? I thought, I can't. What are you talking about? Like, huh? So they came over and we had a big family meeting at my house, and we're just talking about, the different types of energy from each one of the family members and how we can work on shifting that energy in a different demeanor. And right here, smack in the middle of my bedroom floor, in my office that I have over there, is this. You remember the movie The Blob? Okay, here's this blob, and it was a decent size, right? I would say probably, what was that? Maybe 3 foot around by 1.5 foot high, and it was like, whoa, whoa,
Like pulsating.
Pulsating.
like yeah, it was pulsating, and I'm like, hey, I don't know what this is, but this ain't good. And I asked it. We're getting a little off subject, sorry. And I asked it, what does it want to become? And it told me 9 feet. No, 12 feet.
Yeah, 12.
12 feet. And it showed me that it stood up, kind of like that picture that you posted. I told you I didn't like that. It stood up as a tall, skinny, like stick figure thing, and it comes over the little girl's room like this. That's what it showed me. And I said, you all got to get that under control, because you guys, the energy feeds that. I did not know the actual name of that was an energy blob. I had no idea. Amy's the one who said, yes, that is a thing. So we've been keeping an eye on it. I went over there and I did some saging and some blessing and putting some white light in that room. And they've been working on their energy very well with me and Amy. They repainted the room, put it bright colors. Nikki has some sage oil going on this little vent thingy. What do you call that oil?
A diffuser?
A diffuser. Yeah, so she has that on the outside. So it's something that we have been watching for a while. And like I said on Thursday, when she asked me to hone in on it, because there was, a little blow up over there. And she says, I'm sure this thing is going nuts. And I tried to hone in on it, and I could not find it. And I'm just like, it's not there. And she goes, what do you mean it's not there? I said, it's not there. And it just blew my mind up until right now, when her brother said he was there, in protecting her house. That explains where that energy blob went. Is they were working on it for the longest. It was flat. I wasn't seeing it pulsating. It was just like there. And then they cleaned up that room with the sage, everything else in there. Then I can't find it.
Well, good.
That's very good. It's very good. I'm very happy about your brother, but show him honor as he wishes by you just remembering the good things that happen, and let your sister know it's done, is what he just now told me. I don't know why I'm pointing here, but is what he's telling me, is it's done. Honor him as how you remember him as being younger, not what caused the crossing over, but the good times that you guys had together. He wants you to let it go, is what he's asking. He's saying it's going to come around. Okay?
Always does. It's the karma credit plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't
Show me the Carfax.
don't worry no more about that. Show him honor in that. And he said, put a picture of me up. Why don't you have a picture of your brother? He wants to know. You don't have a picture. I said, she don't have a picture of nobody.
I haven't seen him since I was like,
Yeah, he knows.
okay, and
Yeah,
he's been in
aware.
prison most of my life.
Yeah, he
so,
says doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I can print out his ADC
Was
photo.
his-
Just
was
saying.
Was his dad's photo the same guy? That guy
so-
that you showed me the other day?
I don't know. Did he have ADC?
Oh, my sweet
Then
baby.
yes, that was him. Brown hair, good looking.
He just showed
Yep.
me.
Yep. That's
Oh
him.
my God, that is hilarious. So,
Looks like he's got some color to him.
yeah,
Yeah.
that is so funny. All right.
Sounds like he was handsome.
I mean, I can print his picture out and
This is
it up.
Nate, Steve. That's Nate.
That's my brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Nemo did that.
That's good.
So, Danny, I took some notes earlier when you were talking because your family was coming in, but I just didn't want to cut everybody off. And I did want to give Shelley the honor of letting her take the first reading. But we're going to come back to your dad real quick. You were talking about how you were Catholic and then you moved to being a Christian. And what he said is, I totally support your decision. You totally have his support in what you did. For some reason, your mom, she said everything will be okay. Did you ask her the other day if everything was going to be okay, or were you asking her for help? I don't know why she's answering a question.
Well, I've been asking them for help for
Oh, wow. Okay.
a while.
Okay. So just know that your mom is saying everything will be okay. That you're doing a good job. What she said. I know. I'm just like choking on my words over here.
I'll just spit it out. It's fine.
Right?
Gives a whole new meaning to spit it out. It ain't.
I know. I know. Let it go. Well, what she's saying is pray. And I'm like, but you do pray. Are you not praying?
I don't pray enough.
Okay.
You're not praying for the right thing.
Yeah. So what your mom is saying is to pray, and it will happen. Actually, she said her exact words is pray and it will be. Sorry. She said pray and it will be. I switched her words. I am sorry. I'm bouncing back and forth between mom and dad. Good thing they have different tones of their voices.
Oh, I hope so.
So kind of like, so what dad was, he's jumping back. He's replaying what you said earlier about how you were like him. You were a handful because you were like him. He said, I'm not going to say her name. The youngest one is like you, who is like him. That's what your father is telling me right now.
Thanks, Dad.
He's saying tit for tat is what he's saying right now.
Oh.
He's saying tit for tat.
You're welcome.
There you go.
I always tell them that's why they have a hard time getting along, is because they're too much like each other.
Yeah,
They're
well,
both
that just came from,
emotional and-
I didn't know that you've ever said that. So just to let you know, his dad is saying the same exact thing. He says I was in the middle of writing it right now, you know how to fix that.
Yep. Working on it.
He said yes, and he's proud of you.
Oh my gosh, what is going on?
Like, want some water? It's
No,
right in
I've
front
been-
of you.
I've been drinking it. It just like hit me like a ton of bricks, like my throat, like it's dry and then itchy, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? What? I don't know. Maybe it's someone like that had like throat cancer or something. I don't know, like something with the throat. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. 'Cause
You have
I don't
throat
have
cancer?
Huh?
You got throat cancer?
No, somebody.
Oh, somebody?
Somebody
wanna
that's
speak up?
passed. Well,
Any viewers? Anybody?
my Nana did.
Your Nana did?
She didn't have. I learned to read lips because of her. Because I never heard her voice. She had a whole.
She has a nice soft voice, by the way.
That's what my aunt said. That she had a voice of an angel. I never heard it, but I could read her lips and understand. And even though she's not from here, she's not from the United States. So even when her talking and like it was like very, very thick, like a very thick accent, like very, like not German, but it was very Welsh. Like instead of you stay here, you stop here. It was like, huh? Yeah, that's the only thing. Maybe it's her like messing with me, like, get your life together. What? I don't know. Or someone else, I don't know. But that's the only thing I can think of. Or
maybe you're coming down with a cold.
it could be something as simple. No, I just got over it. I just got over that crap.
Apparently not.
No, I did. I just got over that crap last week. It was terrible. I was like, I'm not even running a fever and I feel like dog poop.
So to sum it up, your mom's telling you to pray, and it will be. And dad is telling you tit for tat, and you know how to fix it. And yes, he is proud of you. So That's pretty wild. Your mom keeps trying to say yes, it was her the other night.
Oh.
She is saying yes, that was her.
She was holding my foot
Whoa.
while I was going through a Reiki healing.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
We were doing the healing hand session, and go ahead and tell him where I was at.
So Lynn was up here by my chest on the right side, and I felt a distinct on my foot, like somebody was standing at my foot, holding my foot, like it's okay type thing, you know. And then she worked her way around my head to the other side, and I felt it on the other foot.
Oh, wow.
So it's like she just moved away from where Lynn was working to stay out of her way.
And before he told, well, I wasn't, because like usually the relatives, because they already have that open door, they can come talk to me. I had my friend from California, her dad made his presence known by her always seeing rainbows. So when I reached out, which normally, like, we don't reach out to people and be like unsolicited, hey, by the way, but she's like my best friend from junior high, so she loves to be unsolicited by me. So when I heard when her dad was talking to me and stuff, and I passed that to her, she was shocked. But then when I Googled why do I keep seeing rainbows, it said because one of your loved ones want to give you a message, and I sent that to her, and she was floored. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, Shelly, but you said your male friend, the young guy that we were talking about, did he pass fast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because and this may be off subject. This isn't what he's telling me. This is what I was feeling. So yesterday when I was meditating and I was just listening to some calming music before they got here or to my house, I felt like I was shot. So I don't know if this was for someone who was meant to be here or the couple that wasn't, that didn't show up, but I felt like I was shot. So,
Shot?
Yes.
No, his was a OD type situation.
Yeah. Well, that was my other thing I was going to say. It was self-inflicted. But I was kind of getting the two confused because why did I feel that shot? And then I felt like his was self.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how it happened, but, you know, he was doing some things. We probably knew that.
Was it in a hotel?
No, I'm not sure where it was. It might have been at his house.
That's what I felt was in his house.
It was, well,
But the house was like a very plain house
yeah,
inside.
maybe that's why
Like
I thought
a
it was.
man's room.
Not a hotel, but like a motel, like kind of dark.
I had never been to his place, so
It's dark.
yeah, he was into a lot of like horror type stuff.
That's cool because I was gonna wear my Freddy Krueger shirt,
Yeah,
but I couldn't.
horror. I thought you
Horror.
meant horror. I was like,
I
well,
mean,
that's
he
why
might
you're in
have
a
dabbled in
hotel.
that too.
Well,
It's his business.
Anyway, so what I'm getting from him, so obviously this is him who is here, because before you spilt the beans on how he passed, that's where I was getting at with what I was coming at with about me being shot, is if it was self-inflicted, and then I guess I should have reversed the two questions, but are we in another state? We're not here, are we?
He was in Vegas.
Yeah.
So Nevada, yeah.
Yeah. Because I asked if he's here in Kingman. He's not here in Kingman. Is that where you guys used to go and hang out?
No, I met him in Kingman, and then he moved and lived in Vegas for a while. But we used to hang out around in high school. We were friends a little bit after high school.
Because he's just showing me that you were a blast to hang out with. Like, I'm seeing you guys just out. Like, where were we at? It's not. It's like I don't want to say a bar, but like a.
He used to
There's
come
lots of
hang out at
lights
my
and stuff.
our apartment that I used to live at, which was pretty plain looking.
Yeah.
Like it was a smaller apartment.
Yeah.
He used to come hang out a lot with me, and we'd watch movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Horror movies.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying
Evil
'cause
Dead
you
2 was his favorite.
The new one or the old one?
The old one.
Okay.
Let me see
'Cause
if
there's
I
two.
can get him to tell me what he looks like. Okay.
Okay. There is something distinctive about him. I would trip out if you were to say that. Everybody knew him for that too.
I don't know why. Right when you said that, I heard a limb.
A limb?
Like, was he missing a limb?
Mm-mm.
I don't know why I heard a limb. A limb. Was he heavier set?
No.
Because I got 5'9" brown hair, and I started writing 225, and then my hands stopped.
Yeah, his hair was darker. I think he used to dye it because I know it wasn't that dark.
The 225, could that be at the time of his passing?
You know, he would go through phases. You know, he did look bigger sometimes. I didn't know his exact weight. I wouldn't think he weighed that, but you never know. Everybody's body, they hold weight differently. But he did go through phases. When I used to hang out with him a long time ago, he was thinner. But towards the end, I think he was like kind of just sitting around and not doing much. So, but 5'9" sounds about accurate because he wasn't too much taller than me.
Other than a limb, I don't know what and for some reason I want to say, like, did he have something wrong with his ear?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. Not that I know of.
The only reason why I'm asking is because this 225 has a little, what is that, a semicolon or whatever?
Colon, yeah.
So I'm thinking like the earrings, you know, those big earrings,
Gauges.
the gauges or whatever. I don't know if I'm
some?
seeing that. So sometimes when I look at my paper and I see drawings, it stands out to me. And for some reason I keep seeing the two dots
two
as
holes.
if
I
it's like
can't remember.
piercing
I know
in his
he
ear.
didn't have those big gauges, but
Yeah.
I would think he would have some kind of piercings. He was that kind of alternative style.
Or goth.
Yeah, he's not coming through telling me like anything specific about himself, and I don't know if this a limb could be. If you change anything, it will change
Like
the
an
word.
acronym?
Yeah, I don't know if that would change the word. I don't know. I don't know if I should say what I just heard. I don't know if it's right or if it's incorrect or whatever, but like, I just see him like just sitting back, just smoking some pot and just
Yeah,
like totally chilled, faded out, and just like we're watching some movies and we're enjoying our time. I'm like, do I say this?
Yeah, that one of our we always used to laugh at this memory because we were smoking one time and we were hanging out and we had like music playing, but Tom and Jerry like on the background, and Tom and Jerry was going with the music, and I'm like, dude, and then we're all high, and I'm like, do Tom and Jerry even talk in the show though? Why is their mouths moving like that? And we were just cracking up, like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I was like, do they talk?
So
But yeah, that was one of what we used to do when we used to hang out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Oh my God. So just, I mean, I just seen like this big,
yeah.
and I'm like, do I talk about this?
Probably wasn't even a regular bong. It was like a special type, like a Batman one or something, like Halloween.
I had a glow in the dark one.
They have a Batman one.
That's funny that you said you had a glow in the dark, because when I started this, when I said that you guys would go somewhere and hang out, I said it wasn't at a bar or anything, but I see like crazy lights.
Yeah, my room. I used to have my room all decked out and
The crazy lights.
with
and
lights.
stuff.
I would have lights on and stuff.
Yeah. It's so sad. Like I asked why. The life just got him. He said, life just got me.
Mm-hmm.
Just got the best of him.
Right.
Like I said, and usually they'll say my brain wasn't right, but he didn't say that. He just said life got to me. So he was aware of what he was doing. He was aware.
Right.
Because some people say that their brain's not right, so they acted too fast, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. When you said smoking, though, too, like I'm not for sure exactly what happened, but from what I know, it was like an OD, but with like that spice stuff, which is like the fake.
Mm-hmm.
It was too much of that combined with some other things too, but I think
Fentanyl?
I don't think so.
The smoking
but
was at
It's
your
really
place.
popular
Mm-hmm.
though.
Yeah,
That's what he was showing
that
me.
was my place was hanging out.
Yeah, that's
for
what he
that.
was showing me. Sometimes they don't want to show me how they passed. I don't know if I myself am not at that level yet where I have that gift just yet. Sometimes I do. I was able to see Nikki's brother, and then I went all the way like a big old what do you call it? Like charades, trying to find out how Nate
Right.
passed. He didn't just come out and say he was hit by a car or anything like that. So that's how it is with your friend. He's not coming forward and being like. That's why I wondered if that 225 instead of his weight was the time that he passed. So maybe that'd be something neat for you to check out and
Right.
say, he passed at 225. Just because I kind of see like you said, there was some partying going on and stuff, and maybe it kind of dragged on into the late hours or early hours, depending on how you want to see this. So pretty much that's it. You have a little project to find out about this little girl lullaby from your wife.
Okay.
Homework.
Yep. I'm dying to know this. Do you have a camera in that room? You don't have a camera in there? No. I'm almost intrigued to see if you did have a camera in there, if the little girl, not the baby, the little girl, the what is it?
3-year-old.
The what? 3-year-old? Yeah, if the 3-year-old is talking and playing with somebody. I'm almost curious.
She does do that a lot. She like will be singing. I don't know if they're lullabies. Actually, I asked my wife one time, like, what does she sing? Because she is bilingual, so like
That's awesome.
So she really knows Spanish so well that I can't understand what she's saying anymore, and so she'll start singing these songs and it sounds like Spanish.
Oh,
but
wow.
I'll ask my wife, like, oh, what is she singing? And she's like, oh, she's just making up words that sound similar to words, and so she does that a lot, yeah, and so. Yeah, I really am trying to learn Spanish too, like as much as I can.
It's so much easier than English. We have nouns, pronouns, adverbs, all that. It's masculine or feminine.
Yeah.
So much easier.
What's this wee stuff?
Hmm?
You're Welsh.
Yeah, but I was born in Southern California and I'm white. Need I say more? My boys are half Mexican.
But yeah, I'll ask about that because that could be part of it. She's always singing, running around singing.
Yeah, but I would definitely get like one of your
so
little.
cute.
I mean, you have so many cameras. I would just
that's
hang
like-
one up
I
over
do,
there.
but I'm weird. I don't want them in my house. Around
You don't
my
want cameras in the house?
Not in the house.
Oh.
In my office, sure, no problem. There's 5.
Yeah.
There's 3 on the outside, but at my house, I don't know.
It's more personal.
It's a little creepy, and my
Yeah.
wife's a stay-at-home mom,
Yeah.
so she's like on the phone with her family.
Oh, I see what you're
It's
saying.
intrusive to have a camera in the house, and if there's an emergency, call me.
Because Nikki's found some things on her camera, and Amber's sister has found there's a man who keeps waking up her daughter at night. And you see the daughter sit up, and you can hear the daughter talking to the man, and then the man respond back.
Yeah.
And then a little bit later, the daughter will lay back down.
We're trying, but we haven't been able to do it. She still sleeps with us.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
both
explains
of us.
why
So
you
we
don't
have
want no
very
camera in
full
your room.
beds. Sometimes it only lasts until midnight, 1 o'clock before I'm like, okay, I'm going into the guest room because she's constantly tossing.
Yeah.
Smacking you in the face and
Okay,
We're
that
trying
totally
our
makes
best
sense.
to get her comfortable in her room.
That totally makes sense.
Put all these lights. We did all this cool stuff in her room. and like for 3 days I was sleeping in there on the pull-out twin underneath the other bed just to try to get her to like really want to stand there. But,
You're her security. My 5-year-old still will come into our room, like a bat out of hell, because because I have my dog inside and he likes to climb up in bed with the kids. So I'll have my door cracked and I hear him. And like all through my room,
that's
Johnny.
Like our big phase right now is that. So at that point, if she's sleeping there by herself, I mean, maybe I'll have a nanny.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't know, Danny and Nikki.
I'm a tech guy, and like these cameras, unfortunately, if they're connected to a network, there is always a way to get into them, regardless of what you think. If they're connected onto the internet, so unless you get a SD only one where it's like Wi-Fi or anything like that, then it's like. I'm
just wondering who she's singing with. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, and maybe that's where this lullaby is coming from. Yeah, is she could be singing with someone. So that was the whole thing. That was probably the whole purpose of saying something, was because I feel that she's with someone when she's singing, and someone she's singing with. Right. So, but I didn't know, like, it wasn't. Yeah. Like when she's getting ready for bed or whatever. I don't know why I didn't think outside the box. Yeah. No. I'm an inside the box girl.
Right. Yeah. I'm sure there's some logic to it, and it would make sense that they're not words. Because if she's hearing a tune, because she's got a tune that she's doing, we just don't know what the heck it is, and the words know. Yeah. But if she's hearing something but doesn't know how to, so some English words or Spanish words she'll say wrong, and where I don't understand what she's saying, and then my wife, who knows Spanish well enough, will be able to figure out, she's just saying that Spanish, because I would have known it if she said it right, but she said it slightly off, and then I have no chance of hearing it. But my wife will be like, oh no, she's trying to say this in Spanish. And so as soon as I can't hear her say something a couple times, she'll switch to English and say it to me in English, so I know.
Oh my God. That's so cool, though.
So I think if there was something like that happening, maybe she's hearing, Spanish or something, but not in a clear enough way. So she's not able to, re-say it and sing, but she hears the tune.
Yeah.
Spanglish.
Yeah.
That's what I speak at work. I understand, but it's Spanglish. Like, yeah.
So, cool. Yeah, I'll have homework then.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's pretty much it. So what I usually will do is just thank Spirit all for coming forward, giving us the messages, and if you want, I'll give you my number, and if you ever want to try to do a one-on-one, see if anything will come up. I do group readings, one-on-ones. I have also started working on, I call it a healing hand sound bowl session. Nikki and Danny has had it. I'm offering one for you as well, because I believe we need to keep our aura clean, keep our energy clean, and just start over fresh sometime. I mean, just to let it go. Like when you're in your moment, I don't want people, when they're on my table, I don't tell them to go to their happy place. I don't want them to go to a place. I want them to be in themselves. Find your center, like what we did with you, but they're laying on the table. And just feel yourself, breathe for a while, and I'll do stuff, and I'll use my energy hands. It's really weird. There was a lady who came in with her daughter, and her daughter had an old soul. Well, I was shown that it's the great-great-grandmother, her soul.
Three greats.
Three greats.
3 generations. That's pretty cool.
Her. So the great-great-great-grandmother came back into her. The lady said, I have been told that before by other mediums. I said, what? Wow. And I said, she has powerful hands. So after we're talking about her hands for a while, something weird happened, and I moved my hand like this. And I went like, when your mom is tired, you can put your hand out like that and move your energy to her and help her. Something happened. As soon as I put my hand up, it was almost like, what do you call me, a Yu-Gi-Oh or something?
Oh, Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
God.
Because as soon as I flex my hand.
Can we not? Because Nemo does it all the time with his daughter. Drives me nuts.
As soon as I flex my hand like this, I do feel there is energy that comes out. So with that, I started saying we're going to use the healing hands. But after that happened with that little girl, I no longer can face my hand towards, I don't know if you've noticed, but I keep moving off to the side. I won't face it towards Becky, just because I feel like there's energy that comes with my hands. So during the healing hands, I'll use sage and I'll use some essential oils, and then I just use my hands. I'm not certified Reiki, so I don't say it's a Reiki session. I just say it's healing hands, because I use the energy of my hands to help clean your aura, to help clean your energy, and to help get you back and center your chakras. I have a sound bowl that I play, and with that, they've had, Danny's had a couple sessions, and he likes it. And I feel like that the little girl did something, or her spirit did something to me that came over. And that's why now I can't go like that without feeling like I'm going to shoot a ball of energy towards her.
I was like, I'm
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to be zapped.
But just standing there, and when I do my my healing hand sessions, their bodies talk to me, and they tell me what's going on with them. Like where Amy can do a Reiki session, and she'll find out like you have inflammation or something like that. I don't get any of that because I haven't had any training, so I don't know what to look for. Me, your soul talks to me. Your spirit talks to me. And then I have been verifying I've done 5 people, and each person, when I tell them what their spirit has told me, they say yes. That is absolutely correct. And I
That's cool.
when
It's
I
like another form of what you're doing.
Yeah. So, and I believe they go hand in hand, because if say, like Becky, she had that session. Becky, which she didn't touch on, and forgive me for putting you on blast, she was at the point where she couldn't take care of the family. She worked, went home, bed, cried. At work, cried. Nikki will testify to that. She couldn't stop crying because she just loved Nate so much, and she was so lost without him. So what was it, like 2 sessions or 3 sessions with me?
I think it was the second one.
Yeah, the second one.
But it was each time. The first one, I felt better. Like the next day, I got home, I didn't fall asleep. I cried, but I didn't fall asleep. I got this done, I got that done. And I'm very particular. I have to get certain things done throughout the day, because if I don't, I feel like I messed up my whole day. Or OCD, I don't freaking know. And then the second session, I didn't come home and sleep. I wasn't crying. I wasn't exhausted. I was tired, but I forced myself to stay awake. And then the third one, I was up moving around. I went to the gym a few times. I haven't gone since a while, but it was.
Because you haven't been to me in a while.
I know, I haven't. It's been, and I'm starting to feel tired again.
Yeah.
Like I'm starting to feel drained again. And last week wasn't as bad, but this week I'm like, can I just go to bed?
But this is from her husband, is he told me, thank you so much, because through spirit you were able to help my wife, you're his daughter now.
I mean,
my wife, to be able to help take care of her kids again, and to help take care of me in her house. And she just doesn't come home from work and go right to bed anymore. She stays up now. So he thanked me for that.
It's a long time coming, though. I need it. That was what I needed, maybe. I need a kick in the butt.
Yeah, but she went work, home, bed, crying all the time. And that's why Nikki reached out to me, is because she had a friend who wouldn't stop crying and couldn't take care of anything.
And it's very unlike me not to do that. So, and like I don't know, it was just bad.
Because this happened, a year ago?
November.
It happened. And after, like she said, 2 sessions, she already started feeling better. The lady who I sent you her review, 2 sessions, same thing.
Yeah.
And she posted that on Facebook. So I was like...
Yeah, I think it's the idea of loss in general. What you're actually, and then what you're doing is you're giving opportunity for people to find again. So they lost the physical person, but they're finding the energy or the spiritual part of the person still.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have that lost feeling, that sympathy, and that for yourself anymore, because they're gone, because they're actually not gone. You're just finding a different part of it, which is the big thing. I think that's what that's what grieving is all about. You feel like you've lost a person, but you haven't. You just lost the physical part of it.
That's right.
And if you're able to find a way to find them again, which is what it sounds like it happened, and that's what's giving you that energy back and giving you motivation to do things, and I think that's really cool.
And the
That's
fact
the
that
main
she
part of
can
all
hear
of
him.
this.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that she can hear him now and
Right.
she'll talk with him. And, and
you when you have those type of things, you always think it's your voice. But it's definitely not my voice.
Right.
I don't sound like a man. So,
Right.
I mean, sometimes I guess. I don't know.
and that's we did finding your center with her, because I don't have the certifications of all these other things that these other people have done, because this is a crash course that I'm getting. So I have my own words for my own techniques that I use. So hers was finding your center. So she came over. Do you remember that day you came over?
I had never been able to do that, like focus. I have ADHD. It's the hot. I'm off the charts. And I was able, as soon as I closed my eyes, she's like, look at this color, find your color. I was able to go, to yellow, to the core of the earth. I was able to see it. I saw blues, I saw purples, I saw light blues, I saw grays. And it was something that I have never experienced, and it was amazing. And almost my son called right in the middle of it. And that's when instantly my brother came to me. I heard him. He goes, what was it? Baseball. And my mom and my son's like, you got to be kidding me. I go, what? We're all Dodger fans, hardcore Dodger fans. My son had his Dodger hat on. And he goes, Mom, this is where I put my hat. My brother's picture and his Dodger hat is right next to it every day he comes home. I go, no, you don't. He goes, Mom, you just gave me chills. How the hell did you know that?
Yeah.
And it's a brand new. He lives in Pendleton. He's on Pendleton, so he lives at the main gate. So he lived in the bachelor barracks, so now he has a home.
Right.
So where he puts it, it's there every
Yeah.
day. He goes, Mom, you just gave me chills, and I was like, dude, you gave me chills because I've never
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah.
So she took that time to find her center, and I'm sitting over here with my little handy dandy notebook, and I'm telling her brother what to do. I have a list of things, and so what she has a problem of is speaking what she's actually feeling. So she'll feel it, but she won't say it, or she doesn't believe that it's actually happening. So I put like whisper I love you in the ear, like
Something with my ear. It got really,
Yeah.
really cold, and then my eyes are closed. And then she was like, I'm telling him to do this. What are you feeling? I go, I feel like this. Like he's
the
doing
legs.
my legs, and then like the third one was like this. Well, she told him to give me a hug, and she had written it down, and she's like, Becky, you're never gonna believe this, but when you were saying this is what I had written down. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
I said, what are you feeling? And she goes, I feel like this.
Tight,
I feel
tight.
like that is what she said. And I was like, I just told him to give you a hug.
I was like, no, you didn't.
And then my favorite part of this whole thing is I told him to mess with her forehead. I told her to mess with her forehead. For 10 minutes,
I was doing
this girl did the most lame faces. And she's like,
I was like, you didn't see it?
yeah, she's just like that. And I let her do that for about 10 minutes as she's trying to talk with me.
She set me up.
And she's just playing, and I'm laughing, and there was no hair there. There's nothing there.
I could see it, like, when women, we pluck our eyebrows or something, feel like you see a blonde hair or a dark hair, and I'm like this, trying to see it, and there's nothing there, and I keep doing this, like, what the heck?
But
That was
she
terrible.
got every single one right.
Yeah.
And then the
She
other
showed me
lady,
after.
the one who I sent you the little screenshot, I did Finding Your Center with her as well. I'm not lying, I had it down, and she was nailing it as if she was sitting over me watching what I'm writing. It wasn't in order, but she did it, and she said it, and she got like 8. I had to go to her mom and be like, okay, what are you going to do next? Because I kind of ran out of things to think of. So then her mom would tell me, and I wrote it down, and she was doing it. No joke. I have it in this book. She's the one who's going to come on the next podcast. So we can go over that as well with her.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's all your fault.
So we got to find more people for the next podcast.
we'll
I want to
start-
fill this room up with strangers. If you want to come back, obviously
You're not a
can.
stranger no more.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm coming back though.
Yeah.
I think what it is with yours, who you wanted to come through isn't ready to come through yet, because you're dead set on this person.
There's
Dead
one,
set.
probably my grandpa, if anybody.
You're
'Cause
dead set.
he's the person that I've been closest to that's passed. So if anybody, I would have thought him. But then I remembered my friend, though, him as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're
You're
Anyways,
dead. Like
maybe next time.
I do feel like what I'm feeling is that you were dead set. It was going to be this person, and just one thing. Just like give me one thing. I know you can. It's right at the tip of your tongue. Like you're looking at her. It's one thing. It's just this one thing, and it's just not happening yet. You're not on the fence. You for sure. You're legit. You're like, nah, this is real. But you're like.
That one value.
I
You
wanted
need
to experience it myself.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
the one-on-one will work because it worked for me. It really did. It brought me to ease. It brought me comfort. And then the second time, and then the third time, I felt better. I didn't feel so. I have me back. My husband has his wife. My children have their mom.
Yeah.
And because of her, I got this opportunity.
Right.
And it was just like a whim. Like, you know what, Phillips, you're going to be the test dummy. You're going to do it. Oh, okay.
Seriously.
And I think.
And I'm going to test her through you.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And I was like, okay, I was like, dang it, Nikki, why did you do that? She's like, because I wanted to. Phillips, I'm tired of seeing you cry is basically what she said in not so many words.
She's making me feel so horrible every day. I saw her. She's just crying. I'm like,
I can't help it. I'm a
Yeah.
cancer.
But she works at the prison, so
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she needs to be strong and not,
But
crying or
when I'm
whatever.
around her, I could be myself. I'm not. I'm a real person. Like
Yeah.
I'm real. I'll tell you whether it's good or bad. Like, hey, dude, you got toilet paper on the bottom of your shoe. You might want to take care of that. I'm very blunt. I'm very honest. I don't beat around the bush. So I can be myself around my staff, especially her, because like I don't know. I've always had that with her, even before they were together. I've always loved her. She's a jerk. But she's a jerk. She is, but she was never a jerk to me. Like we worked together in a dorm or out on the yard, and we just like, whoop, whoop. Like we knew. We're like,
we were in tune with each other.
Right,
we
right.
still do that.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Everybody needs jerks in their life.
Yeah, I know. My husband's got me.
I really appreciate you guys coming,
Can
Nikki.
you get paid for that? For
You're
being a
welcome.
jerk?
Shelly.
Thank you. That was
Yes.
You're welcome.
Is your name Rochelle?
Shelly.
Rochelle's my real name. Yeah.
What?
It's Rochelle.
That's my real name. Yeah.
I don't know how I knew that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
so-
Your name's Rochelle. Yeah.
Wow.
It's Rochelle.
Nobody knows that.
Creeper.
Even some of my no, I don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
No, I tell them. No, I tell them.
Shelly,
No.
only 100 million people are going to
We're not
listen.
live, yeah.
No, it's just nobody's called me that since I was like 6. So even my family.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's
I
what
know.
I'm saying with her. So she's falling into this, where she does say things that
That's
are
Kind
validated.
of, what's kind of weird about that is when I mentioned my grandpa, he's the one who used to call me Rochelle.
That is
Did he have
awesome.
throat problems then?
No, I don't.
Someone has throat problems, and it's not me.
you.
Oh, I know. The only thing I could chalk it up to is my nana. She didn't have her larynx. She did have throat cancer.
Hey, I got shot, okay? So
But I don't know if it was that, but it hit me like really bad. Like I was like, oh gosh, this is
And now it's
embarrassing.
gone.
It's gone. But I had caught in that crud, little cold, and it was just your sinuses, and like a little bit. I don't even smoke,
Yeah.
So I do vape once in a while. I do vape.
I heard RSV, which is that respiratory
Yes.
virus that usually is worse in children,
Yes.
is now migrating to adults. And I know somebody who works, so you work at the prison, I
Yeah.
know somebody who works for the sheriff's department or the jail, and said that a bunch of officers were starting to get that.
Oh my God.
It's like a domino effect. It is. It really is. Especially if you have a lot of contact with, inmates and they touch handles. It's just. Oh, I'm so
It's
glad
gonna
we're
be the
able.
next COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm so
don't
sick
take
of
the
all this
toilet
stuff.
paper.
right.
Don't take the
I
toilet
don't,
paper.
I don't know if, like, before I got my mediumship, what happened is I got like a form of like what felt like it was COVID, but it was negative. So I was sick, and that was in September. October, I got COVID. November, I got influenza.
Yeah, so
And
it's
now
like-
look what I am. I'm like, I don't know how this happened because it just fell upon me. Just one day I was doing body sculpting, and next thing you know, I hear people talking to me, and I was like, whoa. And I thought I was going insane.
Yeah, when you're little like that and you hear it and you see it, because my mom, she did tell me that we lived in Downey, California. I was playing with Jim and watching the Care Bears or something, And my mom
You're
said,
dating
I
yourself.
blatantly, I'm sitting there just playing with Jim and, you know, the Misfits and stuff. And her flipped a switch, her earrings light up. And my mom said I was talking to somebody, and she thought I was just playing with the dolls. And I was like, no, Mom, it's so-and-so. And I can't even remember the name. And my mom told me, she goes, then I knew there was, you were, we all knew you were special, but you know, you were a different kind of special. Like, and then what killed me and why I completely just ignored it is when I was a sophomore in high school, I was on the swim team. I lettered in varsity all 3 years I swam. I was very good. My stepdad was a big part of my life. Big, like totally awesome. It was a cloudy day, and it was, I want to say it was Hell Week. So morning we would swim, go to school all day, swim after, and then it was the last day of Hell Week, and I look up at my mom, and my stepdad never came, very rarely, because he worked. Well, he got off work early, wanted to see for himself his wonderful daughter, because you know, I was his daughter. You couldn't tell him any different. And I look up at my mom. I just got this really sick feeling in my stomach, and I was like, I moved away from my team, and I'm kind of crying. My mom and my stepdad are like holding hands, looking at me. And I dead set look up at my mom. I go, something bad is going to happen, and it's going to affect both sides of our family. 2 weeks go by. My stepdad passed at 35 with a massive heart attack at work. Now, 15 days later, my mom's father passed away. He had cancer. We knew it was coming for him, but my stepdad, and it was boom. And then 9 months later, my Nana passed away. I'm like, that scared the crap out of me, scared the crap out of my mom. She's like, how the hell did you know that? I was like, no, I don't know. It just scared me. Yeah. And I was like, I'm done. I can't do it, because I felt like I cursed my family.
Shut it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you're 18, you know, you're thinking like, am I weird? And this is in the 90s, okay? That's like 1998.
Weird back then.
Yeah. I was normal. Weed was great then. They didn't have all this crap in it now. I know.
We didn't have cell phones.
No evidence.
The downfall of
no
society.
Evidence. Right. No evidence.
I was going to say one last thing before we close up here. About my healing hand sound bowl session. I forgot. So, Nikki's, can I say what okay. So, Nikki's ex-husband came today, and he had a healing hand session, sound bowl session. And I usually will hear their spirit like towards halfway through, because I guess the aura is clean, the energy is cleaned, and then now like their spirit will talk. But the crazy thing with that is I heard Billy, which we've named Nikki's little son who was miscarried. Billy is always with Nikki, always. And he's just always like, he always sits on the floor right next to her, nice and like always, wherever we're at. I always see him. If she's standing, he's just standing right next to her side, always. Well, I'm working on this guy, and I hear Billy say, that's my dad. And I was like, huh? Like, what? And like, I can't stop doing my session to text her to be like, hey, what's going on? Like, is this,
right?
You know, the dad?
Does this add up?
Yeah, like I was like, oh my God. So I messaged Nikki afterwards, and I was like, hey, Billy said that this is my dad. Is that Billy's dad? And she says, yeah, it was.
Wow.
I was like, oh my gosh. So I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah.
But he mostly stays with Nikki, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mama's boy.
Yeah, big
that's
time
okay.
mama's boy.
I have 3 of them.
Yeah, yep.
He's better with me anyways.
Yep, I agree.
Touche.
But that was just one last thing that I wanted to say real quick, because I thought that was pretty cool, because that's another adventure that I have no clue what I'm doing, as well as all those other things. Right. But this mediumship, like Amy says, you're just taking off. After today, it's been 70 people that I have read. And as long
in a
as
short amount of time. That's amazing.
Yeah. How many weeks? So this Tuesday will be 15 weeks.
It's not
Oh,
long
so
at all.
It's new.
It's new.
Yeah, it's new. And then Steve here, he's I actually hired him as my what do you call it? My marketing
social media
manager
marketing.
for
So cool.
my body sculpting business that I own. And through the body sculpting, like right after I hired you is when it just started, the mediumship started. It was right after I hired you.
You've done a few
Yeah.
at that point, but right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, as it starts picking up.
Yeah, so it just, the mediumship just boom, 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 boom. And now my whole schedule is full with mediumship and hardly any of the body sculpting.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
It's
I'm
like-
paying him for the body sculpting, so we may have to switch that up
Right.
to mediumship because,
Yeah.
I mean, even though the body sculpting is cool and all, I just feel that I feel in my heart I have more.
Purpose, maybe, to do what you're doing.
Yeah, like a more, I would rather help somebody out, help spirit, help their loved ones feel better and get better than to have somebody feel better for vanity. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
more
if I can
healing.
help someone's spirit inside them feel better, that brings me so much more joy than it would if I'm just going to help somebody try to have better appearance or
Right.
whatever. You see what I'm
deep
saying?
healing.
Yeah.
To help them heal.
Yeah, and that's what I'm working with their family as well. I mean, they understand I'm no counselor. They understand I'm no Reiki master. They understand all that. But I'm showing results. And it makes my heart so happy. And I feel so blessed, especially when I look at Becky and the other lady, I don't want to say her name right now, the other lady who I sent you. These are two women who could not get out of bed, who could not take care of their family, who could not take care of themselves, could not take care of their man. Work, home, bed, cry.
You make me
Period.
cry.
And these
You're so
ladies,
sweet.
these ladies now are able to take care of their household. They're able to take care of their family. Like she said, her husband got his wife back. The kids got their mother back. And to me, that brings me so much joy than having someone lose 3 inches off of their waist. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
and then the Finding Your Center has helped Becky move up to that next level. The other lady who I sent you has helped her as well. She had a total of, I think she had a total of 4 sessions, and she's had a total of 3. I think you had 3, or have you had 4? I'm not sure anymore. I lost count.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So, but with that, that's what brings me so much joy. So we may have to
Yeah, focus on whatever works. And if
look at it.
And sometimes there's a combo that happens.
Yeah.
You want to do both, maybe.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of started.
You're multi-talented.
I
And then it's
am.
like, well, let's do some inches and spirits. To
Right? Yeah, so funny. But
Combo.
it floors me. It does, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but it floors me when I look at the accomplishments that I'm going through right now. And then I just got notary of whatever for Mojave. What is that?
Or the best, or the best of type thing.
Yeah, I just got best notary, and and then like
That's
my
so
mediumship,
cool.
and then the healing hands, and the body sculpting, and all that other stuff. And I'm just like, wait, what is going on?
That's amazing.
So I just feel like that song, I'm Unstoppable, just
Yep.
is, and I'm not trying to toot my horn, I'm stating facts, like,
You're not
I feel
tooting your
so
own horn when
blessed.
you have results like you've had.
yeah,
I mean, with myself, with Nikki and Danny, and the friend we won't talk about.
Yeah.
It's just, it's good for you. You need that for yourself. You're not tooting your horn, you're stating facts.
yeah,
You're healing yourself at the same time.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
It's nice to find purpose.
Yes.
I think I have
Some
one.
people can't quite
fucking
figure it
nose
out.
ring.
Once they do, then it definitely helps.
Yeah, because I used to always call myself Just Lynn. I'm
Yeah.
Just Lynn, and people who have known me for many years. I mean, look,
You're
how
not
ma-
just
I did
Lynn.
that. I'm not going to say the company's
Yeah.
name, but I did that multi-level company I did, and then I did like my body sculpting, and then I think I probably did something in between or whatever.
Coffee.
I wasn't going to say that.
Welcome. Said it for you.
Thanks.
You
But
know,
they,
the coffee and then the
Air purifier.
Oh yeah, the air purifier stuff.
We're gonna try to find some.
Yeah, so
Fire,
I've
you know?
always tried to find my niche in this world, but I've
think
always
she
turned
found
out to
it.
be just Lynn afterwards, you know. So I'm just Lynn. So when you have people who've known me since junior high and their fathers coming through, giving validation after validation, you know, I can find the father in the fire that they're having, that their little bonfire. The full picture of their father is in that picture of that fire. Or the stepdad, you can see in the reflection in the back. And I'll screenshot and I'll send it. I think Nikki saw it too. I send it to Nikki and I'm like, hey, am I seeing things? She goes, no, there's a face right here. And she dotted the eyes and did the mouth. So I
She's
sent
not
it,
good about that.
so I sent it to my friend and I was like, and she's in California.
Yeah.
So her dad will come to me because I've known them since I was young, and just set the record straight that he's still here. Dad's still around.
Right.
So to me, it's like I no longer see myself as just Lynn.
Right.
I now see myself. Thanks. I now see myself as
That's Lynn.
like
This is the
No
real
Jess,
you.
get rid of Jess.
yeah.
This is
like
the real
I'm,
you.
I'm a messenger, and I can
Oh, that's funny.
help.
I was just getting ready to say that. Lynn the messenger.
The messenger, yeah. So I just give messages and help spirit heal. I'm not the one healing. Spirit is the one who's healing them. I'm the messenger in between to help give that validation that they're not alone. They're here.
Yeah.
So, and I love these little podcasts. I really do. I think
cool.
that
Thank
it's
you.
awesome.
Yeah,
it's
for
really
sure, yeah.
fun.
I like this type of stuff. Like, you know, as somebody who runs news, I've been doing the news thing for 7 years.
Oh, wow.
I don't like negative news.
No, nobody
it's
does,
just
right?
Everything these days.
And it's a
Yeah.
really unfortunate thing that's the news
That-
that seems to always go the biggest on social. You know, our stories spike when they're negative. I went through, when I first bought the Bee, a period of time where we actually had staff that their job was, you know, ambulance chasing in a sense. If there was anything on the scanner, that an accident or something going on, he would dart down there and do video footage of it. Because with marketing, you're trying to get in front of as many people as you can.
Yes.
With news, which is why I bought the Bee, was because I knew everybody cares what happens around them
Yeah.
in their community. So if I could take an audience of people and they're paying attention to what we're putting, and I can take stories of a restaurant and put it in front of them, that's a great way to market.
Yeah.
But when the things in between are all accidents, crime, and things like that, and devastation and trauma and drama,
Yeah.
it doesn't make you feel good about doing it. And
Yeah.
so I constantly was trying to find over the last few years ways to create other content strategies. So I've done everything from Discover Mojave County, where I'm walking around with Jim Hinckley, who's a local author, looking at historic properties and doing
That's
things
really
like
cool,
that.
though. It's different. It's
I'm willing
definitely
to-
not the norm.
Exactly, and
It's
it's
nice.
not gonna do as much reach as a trauma drama, but I don't
Yeah, well,
care
keep it
because
going.
it's more valuable to me because the people that are actually giving it attention or watching are getting a lot more out of it than just something
Yeah.
traumatic. So this year, kind of my goal is to flood the Bee page with less press releases about stuff that's going on that we don't want to hear about. It'll still have to go to the website, unfortunately, because I have a deal with a radio station to give them press releases. But our page itself will be less of that and more of these types of things. You know,
With real people,
experiential,
people
Yes.
in the
real
community.
life, real talk, real people. That's the
Hello.
new phase.
Right?
So,
Hello.
yeah.
If it was a snake, it would have bit me in the butt.
Right. And so
My bad.
These are the these are the things I think people care most about. So we're gonna focus on this type of stuff.
I changed my cover photo to the photo that you made of
Oh,
me
yeah.
with that.
Oh, cool.
With that, so that logo's
Yes,
in
she
there.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
We're doing a thing with Amy on the 10th, on February 10th. So I don't know if you're available to stop in and come check it out. And maybe if you wanted to do a
Where's
report,
that?
it's going to be at the Mojave Community College downtown. It's a full thing. You're going to have the mediumship there. You're going to have
It's like a
sound
whole
bowl.
day
Yeah, I can
thing.
do it.
Yeah. So I think that would, I mean, because if
Yeah.
you're talking about how you want to promote Kingman and talk
Right.
about positive things, I mean, that's all this is a class about healing things
Yeah.
that Amy and I
Yeah,
work
sure.
on.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that would be amazing.
Yeah. And for people who are listening and watching, you know, if you have a business, organization, or a person that inspires you, reach out.
Yes.
We will
Why
come,
can't
we
you
will
over
video
here?
it, we'll talk to you, we'll interview you. We want to put content out there that it is more focused on that. And leave the press releases on our website. So if people want to go see the crime section or go see the economics or the politics section, go there.
Yeah.
But we're not going to flood the entire
No.
tri-state with all that stuff on our social anymore. We're going to try to have more positive,
Yeah.
interesting things. Another goal too of ours is to inspire people to want to stay, work, and play here.
Mm-hmm.
When you are constantly showing all the crap that happens in our area, it's really discouraging for people
Yes.
Yeah.
to want to come here
Yes.
and bring their family and have their kids in school here and take it. So you can really change the dynamic of an entire community if you start talking about the better things
That's right.
that are here instead of all the drama. So,
That's
I
right.
thank you for having this type of thing.
Oh, I
This is
love
working
it.
out great,
Yes,
and
thank
I
you
wanna
for
keep
having
up.
us.
Yeah, thank you for
Or me.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting
fancy enough to show up. So I know this.
That's awesome. That's really awesome,
They're a
though.
little,
You're like, screw.
shy about it, and hopefully
Yeah.
you showing up and the guests from the last one and you guys
Yeah.
being here inspire the people that are interested in coming but are afraid to get their foot out the door.
Yeah.
Just do
You
it.
I'll be
know
like,
what,
I'll
I'm
come
doing
with
it.
you. I'll come
I'm
with
gonna
you.
come
Go
down.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah,
Just
'cause
do
we've
it.
got space. I got
Yeah.
chairs. I got stools. We'll put cameras on the ceiling.
Yeah.
We'll
I just
get
think we
as
need
many people in
to.
here as we can.
I think we just need to push it a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more. Just
Yeah.
try to get more people in here.
Right.
I believe so.
Yeah, I was trying to cap it, but I think I'm just gonna if we have to overflow, we overflow. 'Cause
That's
as soon
how
as
I
I
see
had
it.
3 people, I was like, well, I can't fit any much more if
Yeah.
you're with a person or two. So, but if someone doesn't show up, then you're kind of
Yeah,
so
we're
I think
kinda
I'm
like-
just gonna say
yeah.
as many as we can get. If we get 10 people, whatever, you can
We'll
sit
figure
over
it out.
here.
Yeah.
Maybe wait out there. We'll have them come in. Like,
Yeah.
it's your turn.
But I think that
The green
I think
room?
this
Yeah.
session I think this
The
session
lobby.
was also cool because of the fact that you're able to hear from 2 people. A
Yeah.
skeptic for one,
Right.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
Mike was Amber's husband from last episode.
and he was
He was saying
big
way.
time.
He was just like, you guys doing that? Okay, I'm gonna go over here. You guys go do your thing.
yeah
Yep.
But then once he had a validation moment, it's like his mind opened.
yeah
It's kind of like you.
constant.
Yeah, yeah.
constant.
Now I was gonna say, did you mention something you shouldn't know about me, or how did you know?
How
about
did you know that?
Right,
How
right,
did you
right.
know? What
Yep.
did she
So
say?
we have the skeptic over here, and we
Right.
have the one who is
Right.
healing over here. So
Yeah.
to me, and then we got the ringleader over there.
And you have the one questioning all the time.
Right.
I
Yes.
need all that proof too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
No, it just makes you feel better when there's the validation points. And I know that you had almost left without anything at all, but then all of a sudden she said something that she wouldn't have known.
Right.
For
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one little thing just kind of, I think, peaks like, okay, wait, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And,
And then the one person, and I had no idea he would call you Rochelle. I just when she was over here, right as she said Mija, I was like, oh, Rochelle. And
Wow.
I wanted to share that with you, but she was talking. I wasn't,
Wow.
and I don't want to butt into her.
Right, yeah.
This is her thing, but I sometimes
Maybe someday.
Hard.
she-
I know.
Live
Yeah.
Becky.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's crazy. You get us feeding off of each other,
Yeah.
and then we'll
We'll just
start,
look
yeah.
at each other. We're like,
There's always Howard Stern and whatever. her
Yeah.
name is.
You know,
Oh, yeah.
I just saw
Robin.
I just saw the Saturday Night Live thing where the 2 women were making
Yeah.
Christmas dinner and stuff, and they're so mellow and that's great.
Yeah.
Are they
Oh,
stoned
no,
or something?
God forbid if Becky and I see each other in this store. We're like,
Guess what?
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think you two should work together more anyways because I think
Aw.
that she's way more in tune than she knows.
yeah, I agree. So
Maybe.
I mean,
I
because
agree.
when we had already,
Yeah.
remember, she was kind of tuning
Yeah.
in and she was
Yeah.
feeling my
Yeah.
emotions, how
Yeah.
I felt
Yeah,
when I
exactly.
missed her.
I agree.
Yeah.
I
You know what
agree.
mean? And I think that
Absolutely.
you guys
Aw.
would complement each other a
Yeah,
lot.
make me
once
blush.
you get
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
And,
you.
We'll
Thank
be back
you.
next month for another episode.
Yay.
Yes,
Maybe even
absolutely.
sooner.